Very much, dear guests. Even if I can't see you just now because I have a bright light in my face, I am so glad that so many of you have come, and we expect a few more to arrive later on. It is a great pleasure to be a Swedish ambassador here to India at this juncture. I arrived in February, and it has been a very interesting and very fascinating time so far. The relations between Sweden and India has been increasing and being made more profound every day. There's a strong interest in Sweden for the Indian development. A few years ago in Sweden, everyone talked about one thing, and that was China for the business community, where they would make their investments, where they would put their money. Today the situation is different. Today they are interested in China, of course. That's important for most Swedish companies, but they realize that they cannot neglect India, and therefore they have a dual strategy of doing both China and India. And we can see that in our daily work at the embassy, that there is a great interest present in India. The trade has also increased very strongly. Last year, Swedish exports to India increased by 42%, which is a remarkably strong increase in our exports. And it continues this year, and our exports to India is growing faster than our exports to China and other countries in this region. A large number of Swedish companies have been here for a very long time. Ericsson, as you know, the telecom company, sold its first switchboard to India already in 1903. And we had a large number of big Swedish companies investing and putting up plants here in India in the early 60s or mid-60s. And these companies, I think most of you know their names: Volvo, SKF, ABB, AstraZeneca, Alfa Laval, Tetra Pak, Sandvik, have since then become very fortunate and very successful, and are now all of them expanding their operations here in India. I'm very proud to see that Sweden, through its companies, are a part of building and developing the new India. Also, when it comes to more direct building, we can see Swedish companies being very engaged. When I was in India the first time on a business delegation in 1987, we discussed the Uri project in Kashmir, which was a hydro project where Swedish companies, Skanska and ABB, were heavily involved and made a very successful project in Uri, which is still producing necessary energy here in India. And we know that Swedish builders are engaged in the Delhi Metro, the ABB, Bombardier and Skanska also. And we can see the rapid development of airports here in India, where Swedish companies take a very important part. These are the big companies, and now we see, and which is a very welcome development, that also the medium-sized companies come here to establish their activities. And one very good example of that is Systemair, who has now been here for some time and is rapidly expanding their activities. And we can see now today we celebrate the forming of this joint venture with the Indian company Mechartes. The reason that Swedish companies are doing so well in India and in other places, I think one very strong explaining factor is that Swedish companies have put a lot of resources into research and development and innovation. They constantly seek to make their products better, their method of production better and more efficient, their marketing better, instead of being afraid of it and try to shelter from it. And the Swedish companies know that if they are not good at research, development and innovation, they have no future. And there is no... That is the reason why Sweden is putting per capita, per GDP, the highest amount in the world into research and development, 4% of GDP. And this also goes for Systemair. I have had the company's headquarters in Skinnskatteberg many times. It's a town not very far from the town I grew up. And I have been thoroughly impressed by the way the company is run, by the way the company is putting emphasis on research and development and innovation, the way they look into the new products, new ways of production, and also new markets. And I must say they have done a great job. This year, Systemair won the very prestigious prize of the best exporter company in Sweden. A Swedish Trade Council every year selects a company that has performed best when it comes to export in Sweden, and Systemair this year was the company to receive that award. And I have understood that a few days ago Systemair made a very successful introduction to the Swedish Stock Exchange. So I welcome this new joint venture between Systemair and Mechartes researchers to form this new company, Systemair Software, and I'm sure they will work well together to the benefit of India and of Sweden. Good luck for the future. Thank you for your attention.